What up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My brother and sister have been living out of a Jeep for the past 2 months, so we decided to visit them. Why not? But not only that, we're renting a cruiser van. Look, it's our Airbnb and our vehicle. So how's it going so far? Whoa. Slow down here, okay? What am I talking about? Where am I? What am I doing in that shot? Slapping a van? Well, I'm gonna tell you guys in this video. But to do that, we're gonna have to jump back to the very beginning of this journey. We're about to head to Arizona to meet up with Blake and Mabel, otherwise known as DZ Off-Grid, _off-grid.
Also known as our brother and sister.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, a few things I want to go over. Why am I making this video? In this video, I'm not only going to review Boho Life, which is the camper van that we rented, but I just want to show you a sweet adventure that me and my wife went on. In this video, I'm going to briefly go over how much this trip cost and how logistically it worked out and just how much fun we had. Spoiler alert. This trip was a blast. And I'm gonna show you guys exactly how much prep work actually went into this trip and how much fun we got out of this trip. So why Arizona? Well, to be honest, we were looking for cheap flights directly to somewhere warm. And these were one of the cheapest ones we could find. My brother and sister-in-law, who just got married, had been living out of a rooftop Jeep tent for the past few months since they got married. They'd been traveling all over the US on the west side, just visiting all kinds of cool places. So we decided to go out there and visit them. It seemed like the perfect place for us to go. For additional context, I think it's important to note me and Madeline aren't strictly super outdoorsy people. We like to be outside, but we live in the suburbs in Grand Rapids, which get pretty cold. When we took this trip, which was the beginning of November, we were having probably 40-degree days here when we left, and when we landed in Phoenix, it was around 80 degrees. So at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you, was it worth it renting a Boho van? Stick around to find out. So we rented what was referred to as a Boho van. What is a Boho van? Well, this van is a cruiser van that is essentially converted into a trendy mobile home. This van we were renting was referred to as Quattro from Boho Life, a company located out of Phoenix that we had found on Google. This van was going to be everything for us. It was going to be our bed where we sleep. It was going to be what we travel with. It was going to be a kitchen with all of our food. It has a shower off the back that we probably won't use. We were planning on taking it to the desert, so it has AC for us, to the mountains and the forest where it's cold, so it also has a heater for us. The most important thing was that it's all battery operated. You can plug it and charge it up, but there's also a solar panel that gives us a little extra juice. Something I'll be touching on and updating for the whole trip during the video, but be sure to pay attention because right now at the beginning when we pick up the van, it's going to be at 100%. However, this battery is not the only battery. There's one that's completely separate in the front, so if we run out of charge for the back of the car, we still aren't stranded. But we just landed in Arizona. We're going to meet Blake and Mabel. It has been 2 months since we've seen them. And yeah, we're pretty excited to get this party going here. Hey, Madeline, who are we about to see?
Blake and Mabel.
What up, guys? What up, dude?
What's up?
Warm weather?
I'll have some good couple
How warm?
days. Oh, what is it, 70?
Okay, I had to put that part in, you know, for the parents. Got to get that reunion going to get everybody in the feels. So we wandered the city for a bit. Didn't take much video of that. I went with Blake to pick up the van. Not going to lie, did not video any of this process. I was a bit too nervous driving someone else's giant vehicle, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. They walked me through the entire cabin, how to use everything, told me not to break anything. I was basically an expert by the time they were done explaining everything. Then they had me drive around the block just to make sure I knew how to drive. And then I picked up everyone and we went to grab some groceries right before heading out to the wild. So we just finished our grocery run. This thing was filled to the brim. Madeline's just putting all the refrigerated stuff in there. Got some bacon. Look at us in the Walmart parking lot. And we got home. So it's perfect.
Where are we going, Malachi?
Into the Sahara Desert.
A wasteland.
I think this is called Bumblebee, but not
Something like that.
really sure. The lady kept asking me when I picked up the van, you know, where are you guys going? What's the plan? I'm like, I don't know. My wife and my brother-in-law and they've got it all figured out. Speaking of,
So basically, we can just go farther off, and then whenever we find a spot, like we don't have to go to the spot.
okay, I don't care.
But like some of the people are right there. That's so cool.
Cool.
All right, so we just landed at our first campsite. Blake, can you just tell us what are we doing?
We are about an hour-ish north of Phoenix. We are enjoying the beautiful sunset here. We're getting camp set up, ready to have a good night. We're making some stir fry tonight. It's gonna be delicious.
All right, so first day is done. We picked up the van, got it successfully to our site. We're in Bumblebee, I think is the place that we're staying at. We're out in the middle of nowhere, and everything got all set up. We cooked dinner just fine. We had fun. That's the most important thing. We played some cards. We had some fun. Place is sweet. Our battery life is still at 83.6. That's after running some hot water and dinking around and not really paying too much attention. But apparently the car charges off the alternator. So once we start driving again, it should recharge back up. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, first night I would say was a success. See you guys tomorrow morning. That is a cup of wilderness coffee. Cheers. Well, let's see how this tastes. That's not bad. Tastes kind of like quick coffee, but it's a late roast. And I got the first of the drip because we put a lot of water in the coffee filter. And Blake gets the second cup, and I get the first cup, which means mine's going to be stronger. So it tastes really good, honestly. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we stayed on our first night. We're out in the middle of Bloody Basin Road is where we're at. And I think the town is Bumblebee, although it's not really a town, as you can see around me. So the sun is just coming up, but our first stop was more of a desert location. So kind of mountainous, if you could call these mountains. They're kind of just gigantic hills made of rock. So we're just packing up our campsite there, but as you can see, Blake and Mabel on the left there in their Jeep, and then us on the right in our camper van. And out here, this doesn't really do this justice, but quite the mountains here. We're actually heading to a different type of location, so I wanted to make sure to film the first place that we were staying at, because I think we're heading into more mountainous or red rock-ish territory. Let's take a look at the van here. So we got the Quattro from Boho Life. So Madeline is gonna give us the tour. Just kidding. So this is up after we've used this for a day, but we've got our kitchen here and the 2 benches. Our bed, last night we slept there. Not gonna lie, I barely fit. As you can see, I'm a little bit too tall for this thing. I definitely woke up and hit my head on this. But it's really not that bad. As long as I'm like this and caressing Madeline, we should be good. In here, if you come over this way, the battery indicator for how much battery charge is right there. As you can hopefully see, 97.7%. Yep, that's what I meant. 73.7%. And so the main cabin lights barely use anything. They're just an LED strip. There's this button here is for the water heater. So we actually do have a water heater. Down here If we want water, we just push that button and that turns on the pump so that water from the sink will run. Very simple, very nice. This is the fridge. So this fridge just runs all the time, barely uses anything. A couple of overheads. We've got a Coleman outdoor grill here that we used to cook dinner last night. That's really it. There's not much else. There is an AC unit. We're definitely not going to be using that at all this trip because it's not very warm. So it will get warm this afternoon. Right now it's 57, but when we woke up this morning, it was 45. And it's supposed to get up to 75 today, but that just tells you how cold it gets out here in the desert. Out in the desert. We are going to Sedona. We're going to Sedona, and then we're making our way up to Flagstaff, and that's where we're going to spend some time too. Pretty stoked. All right, so how much did this trip cost us? Well, to rent this van that we are driving and sleeping in, so it's our transportation and our Airbnb essentially, that ran us about $1,150, I believe. That is for renting it from Saturday to Wednesday. So then on top of that, we got flight from Chicago to Arizona. That ran us about $400. What else cost? When we got here, we did get groceries because we're gonna try and eat as many meals as we can, not at restaurants and things like that. Between the four of us, we spent about $220 on groceries for the 5 days. Now, only about half of that will be our budget. So I'd say about 100, maybe $120. And then I'd probably give it another $100 of miscellaneous stuff that we're going to incur at some point here, either whether it's like Starbucks random here, a random coffee trip there, or a 5-day vacation out into Arizona to see all these beautiful things with a place to live, flights there, and transportation. We're only paying about $1,600, $1,700, which is kind of crazy if you think. I'm just kidding. We just got done being in Sedona. It was pretty fun. We mostly did shops. We tried to take a walk and we went up to Chapel Point. That was a bit of a mess because it was very narrow and taking it in this beast is kind of a chore. But we made it. We actually found a parking spot and it was really cool. The view was gorgeous. It was very awesome to just kind of stand up there, and it's kind of interesting seeing a church that's a touristy point too. We went into the city, we did some touristy stuff, we walked around, but it's just really cool seeing this town in the middle of nowhere surrounded by mountains and mountains. As you can see, we're still driving we're still in Sedona right now, but we were just getting some groceries and just everywhere. It's just a gorgeous scenic view. Oh yeah, we didn't realize, well, Blake and Mabel had been here before, but they didn't realize that Sedona is actually the new age capital of the US. But we didn't really realize that either, but you could definitely tell there's crystal shops everywhere. There's people, lots of hippie stuff. We were looking just briefly into it just because we were curious. Apparently, they believe that Sedona is one of the spots on the Earth called the vortex, and essentially they believe that energy goes to and from the planet from this location here, which is kind of weird. We don't really believe any of that stuff, but it is kind of interesting to see a whole town that's kind of predicated on that, but it's also just a massive tourist spot. Okay, so this is our second campsite night. So we just finished our second night, and it was a bit colder last night. It was 35 degrees is what it got down to, and it was down there a lot more consistently. I'm just going to walk you through. We're going to come to the front of the van here and take a look at where we're at with some of the levels. So we were at 100% charge by the time we were done driving. We didn't have to plug it in at all. any of that. We had a campfire this time around, which was pretty nice. And we also ran the heater. So this is the heater. And we turned that on like 4 or 5 times last night because it was getting pretty cold. So if we're looking at the battery percentage, it's at 43%. Now it's about noon right now. And we were at 100% yesterday. What time did we get here? Like 3 o'clock? Yeah, 3 p.m. So in all honesty, 60%. We've been charging Blake's battery right here. So that's been taking up a little bit of power, running the heater. We also had our phones hooked up here. We had the hot water running for the dishes when we were cleaning up, things like that. Hey, opening up the back here, there's actually a shower head. So right here, we'll pull out the shower head. But yeah, we can just hook up the shower head just like that. It works pretty well in all honesty. The water pumps out pretty good. If we wanted to take a shower, we could. We're just not going to because we're in the middle, we're roughing it, right? So that is day 2 and we're about ready to head out to Flagstaff and check it out. Let the car charge a bit, maybe refuel the water tank. Now the water tank level right here, we haven't refilled this at all. You can't probably see it super well, but there is a line down there, probably about quarter tank left. That's 2 nights of dishes and 2 mornings using the water for the shower head just to rinse off things. So I just want to kind of show you our campsite here. That dirt road there comes right off the main road. 14-day camping limit there. There's way more. Blake is saying that in this forest here, we get like, there's hundreds more places to camp. This one isn't nearly as scenic as the last one was, because it's in the forest, so we can't see as far. But if we come down here, this is our campsite that we're just packing up from. We had the campfire. Me and Blake chopped up a lot of wood from this tree over here for our campfire. But yeah, this is our campsite here. Pretty sick. So we drove up to Flagstaff for part of the afternoon, and honestly, there wasn't a ton for us to do here. We just kind of walked around, checked out some of the shops, checked out the town. It's on Route 66, which was pretty cool, but we kind of didn't have a plan going into the town. We did go somewhere for dinner, and that was very good, but then we headed back once it got dark and found our next campsite, which was very close to our last one, and we spent the night playing cards, hanging out, catching up with Blake and Mabel, and it was a really good time for everybody. All right, good morning. So this is, what is this, our third day? Third full day? Third night. We had our third night. We have one more night we're staying, but last night got down to what, 35 again? 35 again, and we only had the heater on this morning. I think we could have turned it on in the middle of the night though, because it is a bit cold. Also, we're at 6,400 feet of elevation. Flagstaff is only about 6,900, and in comparison, where the first place we stayed at was like 3,000. Yeah, less than 3,000. Phoenix is like just over 2. I'll look it up and I'll put it down here. We are not unpacking too much this morning. As you can tell, we only got the fire started just to get warm, some chairs. Blake's making us coffee. Attaboy, the most important thing in the morning. But we're not getting out a lot of stuff because we're about to drive 2 hours south to Black Horse Canyon. So that should be pretty good. All right, so our percentage, 46.8. We barely used anything. I think we got to this campsite at 60. Blake is taking forever to get ready. Madeline's FaceTiming mom. So yeah, we're just waiting. We're shooting to leave in like 10 minutes. Madeline used basically all the wood. Not everything needs to be like super secure, but secure enough. Is there any trash out there? Just set that down. Oh, we'll rinse it off the back. Yep, this is what we've been doing to rinse that. You hit the button here for the pump, for the shower head. All done there. Did that on the drying towel. We just got to remember to dump this out. So this is our gray water. It just means our sink water we can dump anywhere. And it's gray water because it literally looks gray. Good enough. All right, so we're about to take off here, but this is currently, it's what? I don't know, it's like maybe 55 degrees now.
55, 60 probably.
Yeah, so I'm wearing pants, long sleeve, a vest, trying to stay warm. Blake over here,
T-shirt and shorts, baby.
shirt and shorts. Apparently where we're headed now for our last night is gonna be like 85 degrees. I'll probably be stripping here in a little bit.
Do you want to go right there?
Alrighty, so this is our last place we're staying at here, the desert. Welcome to the desert, not the jungle. So there's tons of cactuses everywhere. Unfortunately, there's quite a bit of litter, so that's kind of unfortunate. This spot is going to be kind of cool, I think, because there's so much desert. We're going to take a lot of footage and video this afternoon in the sun. For context, it is 80 degrees right now, and we are in 2,300 foot elevation, as opposed to this morning where we were in like 6,500 foot elevation, and it was 35 degrees when we woke up. So quite a staunch difference. Yeah, this is a warm spot. That's Arizona for you, I suppose. Kind of surreal. This was our last day, which we spent recording and enjoying our last moments with Blake and Mabel. What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Malachi Corliss channel. This experience was surreal for us. It was hard to imagine it was our last day, and we had to fly home early this next morning. We were able to get full use out of the camper van, enjoying all kinds of different sceneries, making important memories with family and important memories for us as a couple. It was a perfect way for us to uncharge and to experience God's beautiful creation.
I loved the Boho van. I personally thought it was awesome because it was a house on wheels, so we didn't have to go from our car to the bedroom or to the kitchen from the car. It was nice when we were driving on our long drives. I could just reach back to the fridge and grab a snack. I really, really loved that we were able to stay in different environments throughout our trip because we were only there for a really short period of time, but each night we basically stayed at the desert, the forest, and then basically back to the desert. It was really cool to experience putting on the heat for a couple of nights and then also having to put on the AC. And we were only going 2 hours, I think, difference. That was really cool.
The Boho Camper van was the perfect way for us to get away and to make memories that last a lifetime. Would you recommend the Boho Camper van to anybody that wants to rent one?
Absolutely, I would recommend Boho Camper vans to anybody.
Hey guys, thanks for making it all the way through the video. Be sure to actually check out boho.life. That is the website of the people that we rented the camper van from. It was a great experience, as you could tell from the video. This was a little different for me in making this type of video. As you can see, I'm still editing it. It's pretty late, but I really appreciate you guys watching it. I think this turned out really well, and I hope it inspires you to take your own adventure with one of these camper vans. And thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and share it with somebody who you think might really like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.